talk about life and getting your life right. Not just as a bricklayer, but as a person. And this is really primary part where I find bricklayers fail. Their communication skills are less than what they should be. And I'm going to take it from the Holy Scriptures, because I'm trained in that. I have a doctorate of theology at university level, and I want to read from Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the ways of the Lord, and in the Lord's way he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. Now here the Bible's talking about a person whose life is planted in the ways of the Lord. But I just want to bring some points out. It says, the blessing side of it. Beware where you walk in life. Where you walk is where you end up, and time's too valuable to waste. But what you delight in is what you become. It says that his delight is in the law of the Lord. So if your delight is in good things, then your way will lead to good things. If your delight is in bad things, then your way will lead to bad things. You can walk in the wrong place. Where you walk is where the direction of your life is. And if you walk in the wrong place, you walk into a thing that's called ungodliness, or trouble, or wickedness. It also talks about where you stand. Try not to stand in the wrong place. That leads to sinfulness. Where you walk will be where you stand. One thing leads to another. Sinfulness is actually having it in your mind to do wrong. How do you avoid that? We'll come up to later. And then it talks about sitting in the seat of the scornful. So what you delight in is what you become. If you walk towards ungodliness, if you stand in amongst sinfulness, and if you sit yourself amongst scornfulness, then your delight is going to cause you to, waste time. Only ungodliness is to gravitate towards trouble. Like steel is with a magnet, so is ungodliness to somebody who can't recognize what it is. If you put steel near a magnet, take the magnet as being ungodliness, then the steel gets drawn towards the magnet. It's not until you move the steel away from the magnet that the draw of the magnet weakens and becomes unpowerful. So it is with the direction in which you walk. If you walk towards trouble, then you're drawn towards trouble. If you walk towards good, then you're drawn towards good. Proverbs 16:27 says, the ungodly person digs up evil, or walks into wrong. So, again, you've got to be careful where the core delight of your life is. Is it towards something that you don't realise that is trouble, that's producing trouble in your life? Or is it something that is going to dig up good instead of evil and cause you to walk into good instead of wrong? Sinfulness, because it says, first we walk into ungodliness, then we stand in sinfulness. Sinfulness is to start trouble, and it starts in your mind. It's standing among wrong ideas. It's thinking about wrong ideas. And then the final stage, which it says is sitting, scornfulness. Scornfulness is to encourage trouble. So what's happening is you're walking towards trouble, then you're standing among trouble, and then you're sitting in the midst of trouble. And this is the unseen realm, the unseen dimension of our lives. There's a clear part that we can see. There's a clear part of life that we can visibly see. But there's also an unseen dimension to our lives. And this is the part that we don't get taught about. This is the part that we need to hear about. Proverbs 1:22 says, "Scorners delight in trouble like an athlete with sport. And they hate knowledge because they don't realize what they're doing is wrong." So there is a way out of all this stuff, and it's through knowing, understanding, and that's why I'm doing this tape for you guys. Proverbs 9:12 says, "If you scoff, you will bear it alone." In the end, if that's where your mind is, and that's how you are, then you will bear it alone. You end up on your own. It's not worth it. That sort of stuff ain't worth it. Instead of saying, yeah, I believe we're going to make it through this, it's, oh, I'm not going to get there. Oh, we're sinking, instead of, let's swim. So if you scoff, you will bear it alone. You end up alone. And we're not meant to be alone. Scoffers, it says in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 3, scoffers are encouraged by the feeling that they feel, which is more powerful than the consequences that they will end up with. So scoffing and sinfulness and ungodliness has a feeling, and it's a deceptive feeling, the Bible says. It's a feeling we don't understand, but it's a feeling that can influence us. So again, there's an unseen realm that influences us, and we have to be aware of this unseen realm and its influences. In our mind, we're seeing something as we see it, but that may not be how it truly is. What we think is what is in our heart. So how do you keep your heart clean? It says it here in this book. It tells you. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. So don't listen to negative talk, nor stands in the path of sinners. Don't listen as people come past you telling you silly and foolish, horrible things about people. Don't put yourself in a position where they can say it, because it may be true. Nor sits in the seat of the scornful. Be careful what you listen to. Be careful. But the key is this: but his delight is in the ways of the Lord, and he meditates on his ways day and night. If you walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, then what is the Lord's way? The counsel of the godly. If we're not to stand in the path of sinners, then what are we to stand in the path of? People that don't sin. Sits in the seat of the scornful. Don't be scornful. Have productive words. The Bible says that our tongue is what feeds our persona. What we speak is what we become. So this is the point of what I'm saying. If you avoid ungodliness, which is badness, and sinfulness, which is listening to wrong things and believing it, and scornfulness, which is saying wrong things, then you'll be like trees planted by the river. You'll be constantly nourished in your mind with what you need to hear. Your mind will become more productive. You'll bring forth fruit. Fruit, not that you can't eat, but fruit that you can eat. People will want to listen to you. People will want to follow you. In the right time, it says, in season. In the right time. So you'll bring forth the right things at the right time. And your leaf shall not wither. You will not tire as easily as you would have if you were caught up in this other stuff. You'll have more endurance, more sustenance. You'll see life in a clearer way, and whatever you do shall prosper.